Hello, everyone, and welcome to IELTS Insider. We've got a very special live stream for you all today. We are going to have a mock test on the live stream today. So, our contents today, we're going to start with a short introduction, and then we're going to go right into the mock test, where we will do it in 3 parts. So we'll do part 1 of the test, take a short break, and then do part 2 and a short break, and then part 3. And during those breaks is a chance for you to write some of your comments into the chat today. So while we're here, I'm just going to say a quick hello to everybody who's in. Sleepwalker, hello to you. And hello, Nihat. Lavanya is also here. Good to see you today. And who else is in here? Kavinu, good to see you in the stream. And Yasser is here as well. Do we have anyone else? We've got a lot of comments coming in here. Lots of good conversation between students. And Okello is also here. It's good to see you in the stream. And I'm not sure how we would read that name here, but hello to you. And Gui, hi to you as well. Great to see you in the stream today. Mirnawati's here. Hi, Mirnawati. And anyone else I've missed? Mei Fong Chi's here as well. Hello to you. And Salma is also here as well. Welcome to the stream, Salma. And Diego is in the stream as well. Welcome to you. Now, we'll get to some of the comments a little bit later, but I really want to go on to the mock test. And Shaima is here as well. Hi, Shaima. So just before we go on to the mock test, a little bit of an introduction to the IELTS speaking test. It will take place face-to-face with an examiner. Remember, your examiner can come from any native English-speaking country, so we always have to be prepared for a variety of accents. You will be graded on 4 criteria: your fluency and coherence. That's about how smoothly you speak. Your lexical resource is about your vocabulary use, your grammar, and also your pronunciation. So those are the 4 criteria you're graded on in the speaking test. When you do the test, it will be recorded. The test takes around 12 to 15 minutes for all the parts, and there are 3 parts to the speaking test. Okay, Sleepwalker's made a very important comment. We can hear and see you. Excellent. And so we're going to start with part 1 of the test. Now, what will happen here in the real test, the examiner will introduce themselves, then you will introduce yourself. You would confirm your identity with a passport or ID card, and then you will answer a series of interview-style questions. And there'll be 2 topics here, and they'll be everyday kind of topics. So the types of topics will be things like home life, hobbies, family, movies, and so on. So this part of the test takes between 4 and 5 minutes. So I am going to welcome on a very special guest on the channel today. Layla is going to be taking the test live. So a big thank you to Layla. Let's bring Layla in just now. How are you feeling, Layla?
I am good.
You're
How
feeling
are
good?
you doing, James?
I'm feeling quite good. Yeah, I'm hoping everything's going to go well today.
I hope
So,
so.
if you are ready, Layla, we are going to start part one. And
Okay.
here I will ask you questions about two topics. You will try to answer in as much detail as you can. Okay, so let us get started. Now, I think we'll maybe put it like this. Yeah, we'll go like this. So, welcome to the IELTS test. My name is James and I'll be your examiner today. Could you introduce yourself, please?
I am Layla from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, nice to meet you, Layla. So we're
Nice to
going
meet
to
you too.
we're going to start the test with our first topic, and we're going to talk about your hometown or village. So let's start. What kind of place is your hometown?
My hometown is kind of a big city, but not too much. I can consider my hometown a big city because I live in a countryside, if I can describe that place in this way. Because it's a little difficult if I want to go to the center of the city. I have to take a taxi or maybe ask someone to give me to take me there because I think it's about 20 minutes to go
Oh,
from my house to the center of
oh,
the city.
okay. And what do you think is the most interesting part of your hometown?
The most interesting part of my hometown, there are two um famous mountains. You can call the first one Al Kara Cave, and you can call the another one Ashoba. The first one, it has a big cave that consists of different and many small caves. The weather inside the cave, it's very cool. There are a lot of tourists come to that place and enjoy it. For me, I go there maybe once a year uh, because it's a little bit expensive to go and enter the cave. But I recommended to others to visit that place, especially because it's very, very interesting.
Okay, good. And what kind of jobs do people do in your hometown?
Uh, the most, maybe I can say the most kind of job people can do, driver. Uh,
Mhm.
they have many of people have many buses and they um, try to make money for driving people from especially students from their houses to schools, or maybe some people who don't have cars, they usually take them from houses as well to the hospitals or maybe to shops for shopping, um, or also take them for entertainment only for public places in my hometown.
Okay. And would you say your hometown is a good place to live?
It's kind of yes, but the problem I think the weather is very very hot here because as far as I know, my city is the hottest city in Saudi Arabia, so it's
Mhm.
hard to other people who are not used to hot weather to live in here for a long time. But
Okay.
if yeah, okay.
Okay, we're going to move on and talk a little bit about free time. Okay, so do you have a lot of free time?
For me, no, I consider myself I'm a busy person because I have a lot of talented that I want to practice and to study, to learn. I like drawing, so I spend a lot of my time for drawing or maybe for studying English. So usually I have no enough time to be with my family
Mhm.
and with my friend. Usually I spend my time with myself, trying many different things. Um, Usually I don't like to be free without doing anything. So I prefer to be alone, but doing something different from
Okay.
others.
Okay, and do you prefer to spend your free time inside or outside?
Honestly, I would like to spend it outside, but the weather always the problem. So I usually spend my time inside. Um, as I mentioned before, uh, by studying or drawing, and also with making something else. Uh, uh, but when the weather is getting cooler, yeah, I try to go outside with my family, usually not
Okay.
alone.
And are there any free time activities that you want to try, maybe in the future?
Yes, I would like to try some another activities.
Mhm,
I would like to know how to drive.
mhm,
Um, yeah, it's not easy, but I would like to do that
mhm,
um, because these days it's very important to learn how to drive. In my country, there is no public transportation. So if I can drive, I can go wherever I want to go without ask anybody to take me there or here. So because of that, I want to learn that. And I would like to learn more about also music. I want to read more about it because I think my experience about music is not good enough so far. So
okay.
I would like to improve that.
Okay. That's the end of part one of the test. Thank you very much. We're going
Thank you,
to
James.
we're going to take a short break from it just now, and we are going to give a little bit of feedback there from your answers for part one, Layla. So first of all, comprehension was perfect. So all of the questions I asked, you fully understood, and the answers you gave were very relevant to those questions. So that was great. That was the first part. So especially the questions that were yes no questions, a lot of students forget about giving a yes or no answer. You did. You gave the yes or no answer and then went on and described in detail. Um, that was another thing. The detail you gave was very, very good. However, maybe for part one, some of your answers were a little bit too long. Now, I didn't want to stop you because
Mm,
you were in a flow. But in beware in the IELTS exam,
mm,
the examiner might stop you because they think you have said enough. So,
okay.
but it's always good to practice giving as much detail. That will be very useful for part three of the test,
Mm.
speaking longer. So that was excellent. Um, Pronunciation was good. I understood every word. At the beginning, we had a few little hesitations where we're thinking, but I think maybe a little bit nervous there. So nothing really to worry about. Um, some very good vocabulary used. A nice phrase, as I mentioned before, when we were talking about the free time thing, which was great. And the grammar, talking about the future, I would like to. Excellent grammar there. I think as well, most of the speaking was smooth. There were a few times where you kind of lost your track and you were thinking and going on, but I think no huge problems there. So how did you feel, Layla? How did you feel the first part went?
At the beginning, I felt very nervous,
Mm-hmm.
but lately, uh, I felt comfortable, and I forgot that I'm in the test,
Mm-hmm.
so it's no problem with the part
Yes.
one.
So did you find after a while you started to focus more?
Yes, I
Yeah,
tried to focus, and that makes me more comfortable with that.
more comfortable. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to put up some comments, Layla. There's a lot of great
Okay.
comments coming in here. Um, let's see what some people are saying. Oh, Latifa is here. Sleepwalker. Wow, Layla, that's great. Willie Wills in saying, hey, Layla. Lavanya is saying, congratulations.
Thank
Willie
you.
Wills. Okelo. Oh, here's a funny one. That's why Layla is missing from the chat. I think
Yeah,
usually you're the first person in the chat.
yeah.
Excellent. We've got a lot of encouragement here. Willie Wills, it takes a lot of courage to do this. Happy for Layla. Great. Yep. Sleepwalkers agreeing. Layla is brave. Proud of you. And Sleepwalker, we have awesome lessons here. Good, good. So, Mirnawati, you're saying you need more courage to take the speaking test. Well, Layla's here showing you it can be done. She said she felt nervous, but that's sometimes what you have to do, fight over those nerves. Sleepwalker, Layla, you speak clearly, nicely done, which is great. And Kavinu, what a smart and brave student you are, Layla. Lovely. Um, yeah. Harry's saying congratulations, a super student. Bit of spelling there, super student, super. And Ahmed here saying everybody's congratulating you, Yasser, Shaima, Latifa. Great. And Gui as well. All right. Excellent. So, are you ready to move on to part 2 of the test, Layla?
Yes, I am ready.
Yes. Okay. So, now in part 2, you will be given a task card.
Mm.
The topic will be a little bit more specific than part 1. Part 1 was more general topics. This one will be a little bit more specific. You
Okay.
have 1 minute to read the card and prepare your answer. So during that time, you can make some notes. So you've got a little
Okay.
bit of
Mm.
notepad. So you can make some notes while you do this. So when you've taken your preparation time, you will speak for between 1 and 2 minutes. I will not interrupt you. I will not stop you until 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then I will ask 1 or 2 follow up questions at the end. Okay.
Okay.
Understand everything? Yeah.
Yes, I understood.
Excellent. So here is your question. Can you read that clearly? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can read it clearly. Okay. And let's see. So I'm going to give you 1 minute starting from now to prepare your answer. Okay, you can start speaking now.
Okay. I would like to have a specific kind of desk that has a handle for holding the picture that I want to draw because I usually use just a regular desk that doesn't help me a lot while drawing or maybe while studying. So when I had that kind of desk, electronic desk with the handle, I can control how to use my tablet or maybe my smartphone while drawing. I can make it up or down to see the picture very well and with the angle that I want to make it in. So I think that kind of device maybe will cost me if I want to buy it. It's about $2,000. It's too expensive for me, but I would like to buy it one day when I have enough money for that. Um, yeah, I really need that kind of desk because my work and my habit required that kind of desk and use it for my job. As you know, I'm an artist, so I need it also not for my hobby, I need it for my job. That makes my job easier without any difficulties. So I would like to own that kind of device. I hope I can buy it one day. I will try to make more money to buy it when I can do that. I will do it immediately.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm going to stop you there, Leila. That's our two
okay.
minutes. And just another question about electronic devices. Do you own a lot of electronic devices?
Not a lot. Usually, electronic devices are expensive, so it's not easy for me to own whatever kind of device that I want or need. So, just I hope I can own those kinds of devices.
Okay.
So,
And when you're talking about your electronic desk, which parts of it are electronic?
could you please clarify the question?
Yeah, so with the electronic desk,
Mm.
which part is electronic?
I think the handle that electronic, so I can use remote control to move that handle with the angle that I want. So
Okay.
because of that, I need it.
Okay. That's the end of part two, Layla. We're going to take
Okay.
another short break and I'll
Okay.
give you some feedback. So
Okay.
how how did you feel about the difference between part one and part two?
Give more details about the specific topic. It's a little
Uh-huh.
bit hard.
Yeah.
And I have to choose something, a specific thing to talk about it
Mm.
in just 1 minute. So that's harder.
So did you find that more difficult than the part one where it was more
Yes,
general questions? Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's more difficult.
All right. So,
Mm.
again, some feedback with this. I was a little bit worried at the beginning when you said I would buy
Mhm.
a desk, because I was
Oh,
thinking electronic device, but then you went on to explain that it was an electronic desk. So, yeah,
mm,
again, great use of I would like to. So you would like to own, that was an important part of the question. It was
mm,
good that you used that grammar at the beginning of your answer. That was fantastic. I did notice quite a bit more hesitation
mm,
in this answer than from part one. So I could kind of see a lot of kind of and
mm.
the answer wasn't coming
Yeah.
as quickly. Um, Another good thing, you
Mm,
answered all of the questions. Now, in the speaking test, it's really important that we answer the four questions: what it is, how it would
mm,
help you, the cost, why you would like it. So I thought you gave quite clear answers to all of these. You went into great detail about the expense and why you would like it and how it would help you. So, in the speaking test, these questions here are how you should structure your answer. That's
mm,
what you did. And yeah, it made your answer very easy to follow, easy to understand. Um, One thing that you did say, that
mm.
because we know each other and I know that you are an artist, you used as you know, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Remember, in no, no, it's
Mm,
fine. That's fine today. But
mm,
remember, it in the real IELTS test, things like "as you know" we wouldn't use. But yeah, but
okay.
but but that was fine today.
Okay.
So I think overall there it was good again, Layla. I thought you answered very, very well. There was a little bit more hesitation, but this is the first time you've done this.
Mm,
And
yeah.
yeah, really excellent. So
Thank you.
we will go and look at some more. Why are people talking about hamsters here? So
Mm,
Gui saying I'm concentrating, listening to you both here. Okay. Um, Here's a question for you, Layla. How long did you take to prepare for this?
just one night, last night, I just tried to review some live stream that you gave before and watch some videos about IELTS exam. That's it. And today
Okay.
morning,
Yeah,
yeah,
and this morning. So there you
yes.
go, Mei Feng Chi. So obviously as well, Layla has been studying on IELTS Insider, watching the videos, but actually preparing for the test only last night this happened. So that's even more impressive, Layla. Very, very good. So positive again. Mirnawati saying, I've got more spirit and energy to learn and practice a lot. Great. And then hamsters, be careful. Harry is in the house. I don't understand this joke, Sleepwalker. I don't know. No problem, Harry. Um, so Lavanya's saying, I guess part one is
Mm,
easy. Part one
yeah.
maybe easier than part two. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Um, okay, we've got some other ones coming here. And then Harry's talking about hamsters again. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see what other ones. Sleepwalker saying, Layla, that's excellent to finally see you live. We have known you for a
Thank you.
long time. Yeah, it's
It's
sometimes
my
it's nice,
pleasure.
isn't it? Yeah, it's nice to put a
Mm,
face to a
to
name.
face. Yeah.
Um, so how long have you known Sleepwalker from
I
studying?
think it's about 3 years.
Three
We know each
years.
other, but just only while the chat room during the live streams.
Okay.
We didn't see each other face to face, and I didn't hear Sleepwalker's voice so far.
Ah,
I hope that in the future.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Well, maybe Sleepwalker will come on and do a test one day.
I hope that so.
I imagine how nervous Layla was before. Yeah, I think Layla's hiding her nerves very well. She's done very good. And who have we got here? Rumdi San is saying Layla is an excellent student. I agree.
Thank you.
And Harry's asking you about ah in his imagination the desk has hands that can help you draw.
No, just a hand to hold that the picture or
Okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But it's not going to draw for you.
No.
Salma saying well done. Let's see who else. Ah, we are laughing at Harry's homework sentence. I see, I see, I see. Okello saying well done as well. And Patricia, well done. And Sleepwalker since 2019. So, yeah, 3 years. And Sleepwalker saying thank you to you.
It's my pleasure.
Great. So, Layla, are you ready to move on to part three of the test?
Yes, I am ready.
Good, good. So, in part three, we are going to ask some further questions about the same topic as part two. So, the
Mhm.
topic was electronic devices. So, it's going to go into again more detail, and the
Okay.
questions will be a little bit tougher. They won't be so much about you, they'll be more maybe about society in general. Okay.
Okay.
But the same sort of thing when you hear the question, just try to give as much detail as you can. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So let's see. We will put ourselves back down here. Okay. So I need to put a timer up as well. So again, this will be about 5 minutes. We'll do this for.
5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, so Layla, what are the most popular electronic devices in today's world?
I think the most electronic devices in the world these days, uh, yeah, with this handle, but this kind of devices is not popular in my country yet. I only see it while watching some videos about drawing. I see some artists use that kind of electronic uh, desk. So I think it's not uh, popular that much in many different artists so far, but there are some artists use that kind in the world to help them while drawing and to make their jobs and their talent more easier. So I only see it in the videos on YouTube or maybe on the TV. I didn't see it in real life. And while shopping in my country, I also didn't see it. So I think it's not uh, popular so much in my country yet. It's just in some developing country,
Okay. Uh,
developed country.
okay, and so let's think about the future of electronic products. So, what do you think will happen in the future with electronic devices?
Yeah, in the future, I believe many things will change because the electronic devices, as you know, these days there are a lot of development broadcasts, so that might change the style of our lives. So I believe in the future our life will be easier, and we can do many different things in short time because of the electronic devices. So I believe the future will be brighter. The future will be better with the new technology, especially electronic devices that will help a lot of people to make their life better. Maybe they can uh, use this kind of devices in their lives for some necessary points, but that is still difficult for some slice of people in the society because those kinds of devices are still expensive and need a lot of money to get that kind of devices, many different kind of devices. So I think we have to work hard. We have to do our best to get that kind of devices to make our lives better in the future.
Okay. And let's move on and talk about the role of electronic devices in society. So, do you think people spend too much money on electronics these days?
Yes, I think most people spend a lot of money uh, for buying electronic devices, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people just spend money for some devices they don't need it in their lives. So they have to be more aware before buying any electronic or devices. So we have to be careful with which kind of devices that we need and which kind that we don't need to buy or maybe to own. So I think people have to be more control themselves about buying devices. They have to only buy what they need and to use in their lives because they are expensive, and if just we buy them in case we don't need them, that's only waste the money, and that maybe take also a space in our houses. So if we don't really need it, we shouldn't buy it. We shouldn't bring something like that in our life unnecessary unless we need it.
Okay. And what do you think the world would be like if there were no computers?
Oh, this is the great questions and the big question. I think world without computer will be just like an ancient in all the days in our life. So the world would be just a small village. People can connect each other. Uh, we will we would not known each other. We wouldn't content with the other countries, other culture. So that will cut the relationship between uh, different people and different countries and different cultures. So world is very, very interesting with the computer, with the new technology. So I think the future will be different if we don't have this kind of technology in the future.
Okay. And one final question. In what ways can electronic devices make our lives more difficult?
Could you please clarify the question, especially the first part?
Yeah. So, in what ways do you think electronic devices can make our life more difficult?
Um, in my opinion, I think electronic devices maybe uh, causes some people lose their jobs with
Mhm.
their a lot of electronic devices. A lot of people are not needed to be work anymore because the electronic devices will replace uh, them, and this is will lose the chance for them to get jobs. So that might causes increase the unemployment in the future with a lot of electronic devices in our lives.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the end of part three and the end of the IELTS speaking test. Thank you very much.
It's thank you, and yeah, it was a little
Okay,
hard the last one.
yeah. How did you feel then about the difference between part three and the other parts?
Uh, Part three is difficult because I need to give more information about the topic that I talk about it before. So
Hmm.
if I don't have enough experience, that maybe uh, causes me couldn't answer the question well and don't give enough information about
Yeah, so,
it.
so the big difference here is part one, you're speaking about yourself.
Mm,
But part three, you have to think in a different
mm,
way. You have to think much wider. So, about
yeah,
society and things. So, it can be quite tough sometimes to find vocabulary and get your kind of thoughts in
yeah,
order. So I did notice in part three there were a few more kind of small grammar mistakes and some problems with vocabulary, but there were also a lot of good things here as well. Now, something that you did twice during the test that was excellent, Layla, was when there was a question you didn't fully understand, you didn't panic. You just very calmly said, I'm sorry, could you clarify the question? That is perfect. That is really what you need to do. It shows you have the ability to communicate because we don't always understand questions. It's very, very, and the way you did it was excellent. Just take your time. Could you clarify the question the next time you listened more carefully? So that was really, really good. Also, you gave the phrase, that's a good question. And you
mm,
said also, that's a big question. Excellent. So that serves two purposes. First of all, you are giving a response to the examiner. But
mm,
secondly, you're giving yourself some time to think as
yeah,
well. So
great.
it's an excellent tactic, and it worked very, very well for you. Um, the the question about the devices that will be popular in the future. Now, during that answer, you spoke for a long time, but you
Mm,
didn't really say much. So
maybe
I
I
I
repeat myself.
Yeah, yeah, because I think you kind of wanted to say things, but you couldn't think. Now, in that case, I think it's just best to speak a little bit and then stop. Because
Mhm.
I think maybe one thing you could have given would have been some examples of things that
Yeah,
might happen in the future, like teleportation or traveling to the moon. I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah. So sometimes it might be a good idea just to stop speaking if you cannot
Mm.
think of anything else. You're kind of wasting your time repeating yourself. So yeah.
Okay.
What else did I have here? Again, you did well with the yes no answers. That was excellent here. Um, yeah, so I think overall, if I'm looking at the three parts, I thought part one, especially with the fluency and the coherence, the grammar, everything there was really
Mm.
nice. Part two was also really nice. You went into a lot of great detail. Part three was still good, Layla, but I think we
Mm.
started to see a kind of breakup in the fluency.
Mm.
So the fluency wasn't quite there. Some small grammar mistakes started to happen, but it was still good. I could still understand all of your answers very clearly. I think overall, excellent, really good. So, how do you feel now at the end of the test?
Uh, I feel I did something uh, good, but not perfect yet. I think I need to read more because I need to decrease my vocabulary to be able to express about different kind of topics.
Hmm.
Maybe the lack of my vocabulary, especially in the part three, I couldn't give more details. I just repeat myself. So I think uh, this is uh, this is time to start reading more and more,
Mm.
especially about a variety of topics to increase my mind and my knowledge in general to be able to express
Mm.
in this kind of situation.
Yeah, well, I think if you do add some vocabulary, you're starting from a very good position because you've already got the confidence to speak, you've got clear pronunciation. There are a few little bits of grammar that you could improve, but overall the grammar was good. So yeah, by increasing that vocabulary, I think part three is going to be a lot better in the future, Layla. So
I hope that so.
yeah, let's go and have a look at some comments. Oh, we've got a lot of comments coming in. Um, right. So we've got Nasima saying, "Hey, Layla." Oh, you're gorgeous. Perfect, Layla.
Thank you.
Okay. And who would like to be the next student? Good vibes. Okay. James, will you give a score in the end? Now, Sleepwalker, I would love to be able to give a score. However, um, I was concentrating too much on the answers to actually be able to give a score. What I would have to do is go back and watch the video again to get a clearer idea of the score. So, again, that's what would happen in the real IELTS test. They would never really give a score straight away. They will
Mm.
listen to the answers again and give the score. So that's what I would have to do. However, I think generally I would, if I was Layla, I would be quite happy because I think you would certainly be above five. I think around the 6 to 7 mark here somewhere, but I would have to watch again for that. Um, how can I get a lot of ideas in speaking? Layla mentioned this earlier on, reading about topics, learning some new vocabulary. Would you agree with that, Layla? Do you think that's the best way?
Yes, yes, I think reading It will help the student a lot for the IELTS exam.
Mhm.
So I think this is the key, and read about different topics, not only one kind. I think in my case, I still don't read a lot about different kind of topics. This is the
Mhm.
problem with me
Yeah,
right now.
because sometimes you have to read about topics that you don't really like.
Yeah,
Th
this is the
thing
problem.
Yeah, maybe if you're not interested in politics or
Hmm.
science, but it's still good to read about those
Hmm.
things. Yeah. So Mirnawati saying part three is the most difficult. I agree. Sony is saying you look comfortable and confident. I like your confidence. Very good. Um, so without technology, we spend more time outside and
Hmm.
enjoy nature. Do you agree with this, Layla? Do you think we would be outside more?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is the chance when we don't have technology to spend a
Mm,
lot of time outside. But
yeah.
in some countries, not it's interesting to go a lot
Mm,
outside. Again, because the weather is always the
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of a good point. When I was young, there was no
Mm.
technology. There was radio and TV.
Just.
But I was never home. When I was a child,
Mm.
I was outside all of the time, playing with my friends. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe we would be, yeah. Willie Wills, I am getting nervous just by watching this.
Oh.
Don't be nervous. Okay, Harry's saying Layla is speaking, but you're feeling nervous. You're great. So it seems, Layla, that your confidence is maybe helping the others get over their nerves. Yeah.
I didn't expect to be confidence like what I did,
Mm.
but this is the good thing that I didn't expected.
Yeah.
I'm so
I
happy.
Yeah, you did really, really well. Um, Akash is saying, "Wow, Layla, nice watching and listening to you. Lovely." And yeah, it makes doing it on camera is even more difficult because you're not face to face. So that's another thing as well, Layla. Yeah. Mm. And Mirnawati, well done. Alisa,
Thank you.
oh, so good answer, Layla, about the difficulties of electronic devices. Yeah, I thought that was good. Yeah. Mm. You have made it. And we've got loads of jobs. Amazing point, Layla. Okay, your exam blew us away. Great. And let's see. It seems for the speaking test, we have to be aware about big subjects and issues around the world to give a complete answer. Now, Leila, you talked about this earlier. You need to kind of maybe read more. So,
Yes.
some of the other students, how would you suggest they go about learning to read more? Where should they go? What should they read?
Uh, I think there are a lot of websites that help with different kind of topics about many different things in the world, the politics,
Mm,
maybe science, and mm, many different things. So they can visit this kind of websites, and if they can also listen to the news, it will be help them
mhm.
because usually news give a lot of information about many different things. So if we can listen to it in English, that will help a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think news it's also important to listen to it.
I agree, Leila. I think yeah, listening and reading together are
Yes.
great ways to learn some new vocabulary and learn about other topics. Sleepwalker saying, yep, topics can be difficult. The writing task too is the same. And Rumdi San, Layla spoken English is much better than mine.
Oh,
Yeah. And
thank you.
Willie Wills, who's ready for the next speaking test? Well, we'll probably try to do one of these maybe each month. So if people are interested, let us know. Um, oh, maybe Sleepwalker next. And so, yeah, as I said, we can't really give a band score, especially on the last question, saying gave a perfect answer. And then lots of Mayphone, great job. Um, okay, Latifa's saying, how can we arrange our ideas in the mind before you speak? When I want to talk, the word goes out of my mind. Well, I suppose Layla, you've just taken the test. How did you find doing this? How did you arrange the words in your mind?
Yeah, when you listen to the question, you have to think about it for a little, and to make in your mind which is the first point that you have to talk, and the second and the third, and try to start it. Maybe sometimes you miss where you are, but it's okay. Just try to speak. When you remember, immediately try to get back to the point and talk about it. I think sometimes maybe it's not easy to focus on the specific points, but in some cases it's easy. I think it depends on the topic that
Mhm.
I will talk about. If that topic is familiar with me so much, I will be able to express about it in an easy way. I think I will not face any problem. But if the topic that I want to talk, I don't have enough information about it, that will give me some difficulties
Mhm.
to speak about it smoothly without any problem.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Layla. You don't need to wait until the question has finished to start thinking. So while the question's being asked, you can start formulating
Thinking.
things. Yeah. And it's okay to have a short pause as well, 2 or 3 seconds before you speak. Just make sure you're ready to speak. But yeah, Latifa, that
Yes.
was a great question. I have a lot of vocabulary but can't use them and get stuck. This is a common issue, and I think this is most commonly solved with practice. Your the link between your brain and your mouth
Yes.
sometimes slows down.
Yeah.
Would you agree with this, Layla? Practice
Yeah.
is
Yes. If you practice speaking a lot, it will be able to remember the vocabulary easier
mm,
and faster. You don't need much time to think about it and translate from your language to English. So if you practice, you can say it quickly. I think it
mhm.
would be on your tongue, so you can express what you want without any problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
excellent.
practice is very important.
Very important. I agree. Because a lot
Mm.
of people do have the vocabulary and grammar, but if you're
Yes.
not using it, it's just really tough. I always suggest to people to record their voices and then record again the next month, and you'll
Mm.
see gradual improvements. If you never practice, you're never going to improve with your speaking.
Yes.
Asif is saying, good luck, Layla. You did very, very
Thank you.
well. And Sleepwalker's saying, it would be great to see an interview of IELTS examiner one day, his advices or stories. Yeah. So that's something we will look into in the future, Sleepwalker. If we could get an examiner on the channel, would be great. Yeah. And Salma Singh, Layla, did you hesitate before accepting, or you accepted right away? Well,
Honestly, I expect right away.
you actually volunteered.
Yeah.
So you were the first person to volunteer. We put the message up, and 1 minute later, you're saying yes, I'll do it. So yeah, okay. We've got through quite a lot of comments there. Now, just before we get finished, I just want to quickly show everybody today's homework. So Layla had these questions today about her hometown in part one. What kind of place is it? What's the most interesting part? So actually, let's put us up here. So these are all of the questions for part one. And also, we had these questions about free time in part one. So, for the homework today, everybody, I would like you to choose one of the questions from part one. So, there's 8 possible questions you can choose from. And I would like you to write an answer. You can write as much or as little as you want. You can write your answers in the comment section of the video, and I will give you some feedback on that. So, just before we finish, some final thoughts today, Layla. What were maybe your expectations before the test, and then how do you feel? Do you think you you did better than your expectation, or did you do worse, or were you just in the middle? What did you think?
Honestly, I thought that I will do worse. I didn't expect that I would be able to talk. I thought maybe I forgot the vocabulary, the word, and I will be very nervous. Then I wouldn't be able to talk. But when I'm on the live and you ask me, I felt comfortable. I felt confident. I have no problem to talk. I didn't expect that from myself. So I think everyone can give it a try and just go for it.
Oh, okay.
Don't allow the shyness or maybe fearness to prevent you to practice something like that. Give you a chance to do it. For me, I
Okay.
didn't expect that, but I did it.
So it was like a nice surprise for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Because yeah, when I do these tests, a lot of the time I hear long spaces where people are just
Oh.
going, but that was one very positive thing today, Layla. There was no long spaces. So there was no time that you were silent for a long
To,
time,
mm.
2 or 3 seconds, which is completely fine. Yeah. So, just to sum up, how would you describe your experience today, Layla?
It was an interesting experience. Uh, I like it. I will learn from this experience um, in the future. For example, I which I need to improve and which I'm really on it and in the right path. So I think in this experience, I found my weakness and my strongest. So I have to work on it. And before end, I have to thank you for helping me and make me confidence to talk. And also, I haven't forgot Robin who helped me as well,
Mhm.
and told me how I should deal with this situation. So this is a great chance for me to be
Yeah.
here and to practice.
Well, that's great to hear, Layla. And thank you very much for your time today. And thank you for everybody that joined today's live stream. We are going to finish there just now. Thanks for all of your comments, and I'll hopefully see you all again soon. Okay. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.